What up? It's another video by Efi's Voice. You know what this video is about? Something I need to say. People, young people, old people, middle-aged people, any race, anyone. People need to realize and accept that life is filled with trials and tribulations. Life is filled with trials and tribulations. In other words, storms. So what I want to say, life is filled with trials and tribulations. No matter how much faith you have in God, no matter how religious you are, no matter how much of an upright person, no matter how much you went to school and stayed in a good lane, no matter how good you were, no matter how stuff like that, life will always be filled with trials and tribulations. You will go through trials where people test, but then you are tested, and tribulations where you go through the storms and troubles, and things that bother you and may stress you a little bit and stuff like that, So people got to realize that life is filled with trials and tribulations. You can be a goody two shoes person, you can be the most righteous person, you can be the most righteous person, intelligent person, smart person, and you will still go through trials and tribulations. Is like the Bible says. I'm not too religious, but I do believe in God. But like the Bible says, it's good for you to be afflicted, that you may learn the decrees of God. So it's good for you to be afflicted, so that you may know the right ways that the God is trying to teach you and get you on the path will that you need to be on. Um, and also people got wait, what was I gonna say? It's good and stuff like that. People gotta realize no matter how good you are, no matter how righteous you are, no matter how prosper in your lane you stay and on the right path you stay, you will still go through trials and tribulations. You don't need to be. You can, no matter how religious you are, no matter how anything you are, you still will go through trials and tribulations and storms. Life is filled with trials and tribulations and storms, but the sun must and will shine, because the sun must still shine. So just realize there will be a greater day through your trials and tribulations. Hold on, persevere. Know that through this, in the long run, in the future, you will love all the struggles you go through and all the trials and tribulations you go through and all the storms you go through. You will love that when you get older. You may not feel it so much in the present tense of when you're actually going through all your trials and tribulations. But when you get to a better place in life, I should say a better place. When you get older and when you get into a better place in life, you will realize that you will love all the trials and tribulations you go through and the story that makes your life. So all these trials and tribulations that make you afflicted, so that you may know and learn and gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Learn about God and stuff like that. So just realize that life is filled with trials and tribulations. It's good for you to be afflicted, so you may learn the ways of God. But I'm not so religious. I just believe in God. So I'm not. You don't need to be so religious to believe in God. Remember, even the Bible says the church is you. It's not the actual church you go through. The church is every individual. So you don't need to be so religious to have a strong faith and a strong belief and a strong faith in God. So I'm not very religious, but I have a strong faith and belief in God. But I'm not very religious. But so people every day people go through things. They be like, why am I going through this? Why am I going through that? That's natural. When you're actually in that phase, you be like, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? This is stressful. Certain things you go through stress you out and annoy you at times. They stress you and they annoy you, and you be like, why am I going through this? I cannot deal with this anymore, and I can't take this. I'm about to give up. So not give up, but I'm about to lose it and freak out and just go through too much stress. And I don't know why this is possible. But just realize that all this stress and all this pain you go through, in the long term, you will love it. You will love your story. You'll love your struggle. You'll love your story. It'll make you a stronger person in the long run, and you will learn from it. So it'll make you, and you'll be a stronger person in the future, and you'll be a you'll just learn from it. So just realize that. So just try to learn from everything you go through. Try to persevere and try to see the sun. Take one day at a time. Try to look forward to the future. It's good to that. You always know there's an infinite future that you always have in your life. So that's a good thing about life. No matter what stresses you go through, just try to look forward to the infinite future that God has preserved for you. You have an infinite future. Just realize that. You weren't always infinite in the past, but not that, but you just have an infinite future that God has given you. You know, so just realize that. You know, you're birthed by your parents and through God. This whole thing in life, and you are given an infinite future. You will live for eternity because of that, because of the grace of God. You know, so just try to look through your trials and tribulations. Just try to look towards the future and just realize that someday is going to be a better day and you're going to have a better time and a better day in the future. If you keep that kind of outlook on life and just have that kind of outlook in life, you can deal with your trials and tribulations, your problems, your storms a little bit more better. You know, you can take it, you can deal with it, and you can survive it and not stress you out to the point where you break down, have a breakdown. You know, sometimes you have a breakdown. Sometimes you have a breakdown. Life could stress people out, but you learn to deal with your problems more and deal with your issues more if you look to the future and notice that in the future there'll be greater times. You'll have to learn. You may have to learn what you have to learn and go through it. What you have to go through to learn what you need to learn and to see what you need to see and to be what you need to be. But look towards the future and know that everything you're gonna go through in the future, you will be in a better place. That's what you should think about. That's how you should think about it. So that's what this video is. That life is filled with trials and tribulations, but you know, just realize that the sun will shine. You know, just realize the sun will shine, and in the future, you hopefully through your trials and tribulations, you will learn what you need to learn. Go through what you need to go through, and see what you need to see to make you a better person. You will love your struggle that you go through. In life in the future, you'll be in a better place. But everything you go through, your trials and tribulations, will put you in a better position in life. You'll learn what you need to learn, see what you need to see, and know what you need to know, and you'll love your struggle. So that's what this video is about. Life is filled with trials and tribulations. Peace.